Have you ever been in an accident and found yourself wondering, how do I get my hands on the accident report in Connecticut? Well, stay tuned because by the end of this explainer, you're going to have all the answers you need. Navigating the aftermath of a crash is stressful enough without drowning in administrative red tape, so we're here to make it incredibly simple for you. It's a question that countless drivers face every single year on these roads. You're shaken out, your car is a mess, and suddenly you need official documents. Don't worry. We're going to give you the exact tools to navigate this entire process like an absolute pro. Here's our roadmap for today. First, we'll look at why accident reports actually matter. Then, the anatomy of the PR1 form, how to request yours, the timelines and associated fees, some practical tips for your claims, and finally, a quick summary and legal disclaimer. All right, let's jump straight into Section 1. Why accident reports matter, the foundation of your case. So, under Connecticut law, specifically General Statute Section 1410A, police are actually required to file a report if certain things happen. We're talking about any injury to anyone involved, any fatality, or damage to non-vehicle property. Like hitting a guardrail or a street sign. And here's the kicker. If property damage to any vehicle exceeds $1,000, that also triggers a mandatory report. And let's be real, with today's expensive vehicle sensors and high-tech bumpers, even a tiny fender bender is almost guaranteed to cross that $1,000 mark. Now, this official report, it isn't just mindless state bureaucracy. It's the unbiased, evidentiary superstar that insurance companies rely on to figure out who is at fault. Instead of getting stuck in a frustrating he-said-she-said argument at the side of the road, this document acts as an objective, third-party factual foundation. It's literally there to protect your legal and financial interests. Moving right along to Section 2, Anatomy of the PR1, Demystifying the Paperwork. Okay, so there's actually a massive difference between the main documents you might encounter. Look at this comparison. On one hand, you have the standard PR1 form. This is used in the vast majority of crashes, and by law, it's typically a maximum of 2 pages just capturing the core basics. But then, on the other hand, you have the PR2 Fatal Crash Supplement. This is a highly detailed, rigorous extension reserved only for the most severe fatal accidents. It captures things like specific human factors, mechanical failures, and those vital next-of-kin notifications. For your standard insurance claim, that PR1, it's your golden ticket. You really want to pay special attention to the officer's narrative section. Why? Because it often reveals vital context about negligence that just kind of gets lost in the standard checkboxes. The officer's own words describing the scene, the weather conditions, witness statements, and any citations they issued, it all comes together to form a comprehensive picture of exactly what went down. All right, Section 3, how to request yours. Navigating the system. So, your very first step is identifying the jurisdiction. Getting your report depends entirely on who actually showed up to your crash. Was it the Connecticut State Police, or was it a local town department like Hartford or New Haven? It seems like a simple little detail, but trust me, if you go looking in the wrong place, you'll be waiting around forever. If you want a seamless online request, just follow these steps to get your report right from the comfort of your couch. Once you know the agency, head over to the designated portal. For the state police, this is usually through GovQA or a service called buycrash.com. You'll just pop in your specific accident details, things like the date, your name, maybe your call for service number, and pay the search fee. And a lot of local municipalities offer very similar online portals too. But hey, if you're more old school and prefer paper, you totally have options. You can just mail a completed DPS 96C request form along with a self-addressed stamped envelope straight to the state headquarters down in Middletown. Sure, it takes a bit more effort and transit time, but it works just as effectively for securing your official certified documents. Let's jump to Section 4, Timelines and Associated Fees, Setting Expectations. State law mandates a strict, non-refundable $16 search fee for official reports. And, well, because the state always wants its money, this standard fee makes knowing exactly when and how to request the report incredibly important. You definitely don't want to submit multiple paid requests just because you got a little impatient on day 3. And you are definitely going to need some patience here. The journey of your report takes a little time. Starting from the scene of the crash, the officer actually has up to 5 days just to complete and forward it. For local police, you're generally looking at a 10 to 15-day wait, and for state police reports online, that can take up to 30 days. Why so long? Well, the final document has to clear a strict crime analysis unit review before it's legally cleared for public release. So hang in there. Moving on to Section 5, Practical Tips for Claims, Protecting Your Rights.
Okay, the absolute most crucial legal concept to grasp here is called comparative fault. Because Connecticut uses this principle, your financial recovery can actually be reduced if you are found partially at fault for the crash. So, making sure your PR1 report accurately reflects the other driver's mistakes and doesn't unfairly pin the blame on you is absolutely vital to maximizing your claim. If that report has errors, you need to know about it immediately.
Let's dive into a few advanced, actionable strategies you can use. First, always seek medical care to document any injuries that might have a delayed onset, things like whiplash. Second, never rely solely on your memory. Gather your own photos right there at the scene if you can. Once you get your report, review it for inaccuracies right away. And pay special attention to this one. If you happen to be hit by a municipal vehicle, like a city-operated ambulance in Waterbury, there are incredibly strict, shortened notice deadlines for claims. You literally cannot afford to wait around in those specific scenarios.
Finally, Section 6, Summary and Legal Disclaimer, wrapping it up. By following this simple chronological recipe, you can turn a highly stressful bureaucratic headache into an easy-to-follow administrative task. It's just 4 steps. Ensure that PR1 is filed at the scene. Wait that 10 to 30-day processing period, depending on the jurisdiction. Request the document online or via mail with your $16 fee, and then proudly use that factual evidence to support your insurance claim.
Now please remember that while this explainer equips you with a ton of actionable knowledge base directly on Connecticut statutes, it is for informational and educational purposes only. It does not constitute formal legal advice, and it is absolutely not a substitute for professional legal counsel regarding your specific unique situation. Always consult a pro if you need one.
So now you have the complete roadmap to confidently protect your rights on Connecticut roads, but it leaves you with an important question. The next time you hear the screech of tires and metal crunching, will you be the driver who panics at the side of the road or the one who already knows exactly how to secure the evidence they need? We hope this explainer was immensely helpful. Share your own experiences in the comments below. Keep learning, stay safe out there, and we'll catch you next time.